And good morning. It is Tuesday, January the 16th. How are you? We are 2 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. We're now sitting at 24 as we wait for a little bit warmer. 56 is what we're shooting for in the stars today, as we'll update you on your forecast. It's still burr out there. I had to have my thick coat as I went about today, and I was just having it throughout the day. Lots to do, lots to discuss this morning as we go over what's happened all around America and across the world this morning before 7 o'clock. Musical guest this morning, Britt Gully, will drop by. He'll do a Christmas tune or two for us as we begin this. We'll go over a few things that happened in history a little bit later on. Let's go now and get a good word. Let's go out to Collinsville. Let's go to the First Baptist Church and get our little morning sermon. We'll be right back.
Today we continue with the third week of Advent season with our focus on joy. While reading through Luke chapter 2 verses 8 through 11, I was reminded of the birth of our first grandchild, Jonathan, over 11 years ago. I looked at the pictures I still have on my phone that were taken when our son-in-law brought Jonathan out of the delivery room and allowed each one of us who were there to hold him. I noticed Jonathan and all those pictures, but I also noticed the faces of all those who held him for the first time. On each face, there was an expression of joy. It was a joyful day for parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends, and I'll never forget it. We read in Luke chapter 2, verses 8 through 11, where we're told, "And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord.'" We are so fortunate to have this account from Luke's perspective because it serves to give us such a rich detail. The shepherds, the angel, the glory of the Lord, the fear, and then the announcement. "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people." The Savior had been born, and He was Christ the Lord. The joy that the Christ child would bring would extend far beyond those who experienced His birth. The great joy would be eternal joy that would come to all who would receive Him as Lord and Savior. The good news the angel proclaimed was the gospel, and this gospel would be for all the people. During this Advent season, may we all receive this good news and turn to Christ and know the joy only He can bring. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. If you've never joined us before, my name is Scotty Ray. I'm so glad to have you with us as we begin this day. 24, as we said, and we've got widespread frost throughout the area. You don't have to scrape those windshields and let them warm up a little bit before you can take off so you can see. Maybe you got a carport. It's tough out there getting that off there, so keep that in mind if you left it outside the carport as you prepare to leave today. Good morning, Becky. Glad to see you. Miss Diane is there. Mark up and Adam Collins will join us. I am frozen. I am such, and the older I get, I think the colder that I get quicker. I don't know, my bones just don't warm up as well as they used to. I'm a heater-loving type person. As we begin today, the headlines start out with Powerball. Well, it's climbed again. No winner. It's up to $1.25 billion. Be another drawing this week. Maybe you'll take a shot at it. Folks keep trying, and boy, that thing keeps climbing, doesn't it? It's going to be a record breaker before it's all said and done. Do you own a, what do they call them? Roomba. It took me a while to be able to figure out what that meant. That's the vacuum cleaner that takes off and goes around your house and does all that. They've even got one that has a little mopping thing with it. Well, the company that produces those is filing for bankruptcy. Lots of different stories as to why it's there. They're going to regroup and stay in business, they say. But the company's on the verge of going under. Chapter 11 is where they are in bankruptcy. And again, that's that vacuum cleaner that self-does itself. Dogs don't like it, and cats like to ride it. You've seen them. Very popular there. Elon Musk, by far the richest man in the world. Nearly $700 billion is what he's worth. I think it's $677 billion is what they're saying Elon is worth. Right at the 7 mark. That's just magnificent. Proud for him. He's worked hard for what he's got. We knew it was coming. It would just take a while before it hit the courts, but Trump has officially sued. This time, BBC, and rightfully so. It all started over, if you will remember, the footage of his speech January 6th, where they edited it to make it look as though he was trying to cause an insurrection. He is suing for $10 billion. We'll see what happens. They did it. ABC has had to pay. A bunch of them did. That falsified reports, edited when they shouldn't. We'll find out what the courts say. But again, I don't think that's a secret to anyone. I did not know this. Maybe I was just busy throughout the weekend and I just didn't see some of the headlines or it snuck past me. Hillary Clinton was hospitalized. She's going to be okay from what I'm understanding, but it was due to a blood clot. She's fine. I'm not sure if she's out just yet. I would think that would take a couple of days. I think it was in New York that she was put in the hospital. Good luck to her. We don't wish any ill will to even some of the political candidates you don't like. We hope she has a steadfast recovery. Speaking of the Clintons, they're doing their absolute best to fight this, of having to, be in person to testify. The Epstein files. They're being requested to come in person. They would rather give a written statement through their attorney. Of course they would. We'll see who wins in the end. The Department of Justice wants to hear from them. Congress wants them to appear before them. We'll see who wins on that. 4 people have been arrested, and thank goodness they have. They made threats to do harm on New Year's Eve. 4 people. It was in the Los Angeles area. What it was hasn't been totally released yet. They've been caught at what they were up to. We probably, as Americans, have no idea what's really threatened on a day-to-day basis, and especially when it comes to holidays, of what people that, dislike the American way want to do to us. They've been caught. I hope they're made an example of. That's the only way to cure people like that. They've got hate in their hearts. You have to show them that this is the line, this is where it stops. Florida. Boy, it was 2023, and he was sort of at that point there, Ron DeSantis, America's favorite governor. Now, he's done a whole lot for Florida as we look at this. Children are our future. And what I consider the people that want to influence children to think differently target those. And that's where Florida stepped up to the plate on this. Back in 23, they banned any drag shows that had sexual content for children in it. They banned it. Couldn't happen. That group fought it, and it's official today. They can no longer do that. It took 2 years as it was fought in court. But it's a court victory. It goes into effect immediately. 100% ban exposing children to stuff like this. Why would people want to do that to begin with? Well, we answered it ourselves, to influence our children, to change America forever. But they put a stop to it in Florida on that. It's a shame it wasn't a sweeping thing nationwide. Boy, you get in some of those places north of here, it'd been pretty rough, wouldn't it? Billy Bob Thornton. I don't know a lot about Billy Bob on a personal level. Boy, he does play a good part, doesn't he, when it comes to Landman. I think the first time that I actually saw Billy Bob was in the video to Travis Tritt's Modern Day Bonnie and Clyde. You ever watch that video? He was in that. He's done a ton of movies. He's a great actor. But he gives his opinion of The View. And I have to say, I agree with Billy Bob on this. He said it's a bunch of, I'm going to use the word upset millionaire women blanking about Trump. we'll word it that way. Did that make sense? We use a couple blanks there. He's just basically saying it's about 4 women sitting up there with a bunch of money that whine about Trump each day. Can't use the exact wording there. It's a landman line. Billy Bob. He's a straightforward shooter. That's without a shadow of a doubt. This is always a touchy subject. Now, this comes from a very liberal state that is doing this. If you've ever been anyone who is in their final days upon this earth, it's painful. Sometimes it takes more than a few days for someone to slowly go. Sometimes it's 2 years of pain that they go through before they pass. Illinois, one of the first to pass a medical aid dying bill, which legalizes a physician to assist a person to go to the other side.
Dr. Kevorkian.
It is Dr. Kevorkian is what that is. They've legalized it. Most Americans are going to say no. The other side will say, and you put your pups to sleep when they're in pain. Illinois, I do think that is either the first or, no, actually it is the 12th state to do this. I didn't realize how many states had done this. 12 of them have legalized it. You remember all those Kevorkian trials, don't you? I do. It's up for you to decide, but that is what's happening in Illinois. I almost said the governor's name there by accident of his nickname. That close. That close, I almost slipped. Careful what you think. You might think out loud. Let's see what's going on. You know, in the top 10, I think Joe Rogan made this list in the top 10. But I have found what they're saying who America's top 5 are in America in popularity nationwide of news media. Who is it that most Americans listen to? We'll round out the top 5. You know the guy from ABC, David Murr? He's always dressed extremely well, put together, and has that tone of it's all serious. Well, you know what I mean by that. He's a very serious type broadcaster. Good luck to him. Susan Scott, she's sort of behind the scenes. She is leading Fox News behind the scenes. She is the big time lady behind all that. She's the CEO. She is very influential in America. Coming in at number 3, there's no surprise on this, but she took a bad situation and turned it into something that is humongous. As she was let go from NBC after leaving Fox, they threw her out on the doorsteps. She's now made her own brand like what we do here. She took it to the internet. And I'm talking about Megyn Kelly. She is very popular. Some days she's got short hair, some days she's got extensions. It confuses me. Very pretty girl. And of course, she made herself famous by asking Trump that question during the debate. Coming in at number 2, this one shocks me, but they're cross on that side. Joe and Micah, you know, what's his name? The Morning Joe show?
Joe Scarborough from here.
Yeah, Joe Scarborough. He is the number 2 guy.
And he's from around here.
He's from Mississippi. Meridian
around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. We have talked about that before.
Yeah.
So Joe is the number 2 is what they put in this list of who influences people in news. Coming in at number 1, there's no surprise on this because it's always a hoot to listen to them. The number 1 news show out there, they say, is The 5 on Fox.
I don't believe none of that is true because if The View wasn't on there, America has started to wake up.
Odie wants The View on there. But it is in probably the top 20. I'd have to go back and look at the top 20. There was just a little bit too much to put in there this morning. But we'll go back and look at that and see who all was in there.
I hope they're not on there.
You know, there's a bunch of people that will reply to things like that in these surveys. The next thing that we have right now, Switzerland. You got to give them a heads up on this one. Let me watch my time over here. Switzerland. Now get this, I want you to remember what I'm saying. Switzerland is denying anyone citizenship who has received welfare within the last 3 years. And you can only be considered if you paid back that 3 years if you were on welfare. What y'all think about that?
Ding, ding, ding.
And what that is saying is they want somebody that's going to bring something to the country not drag it down. And that's going to make some of the meters that are over this way upset over that. But they've got a point. Why bring in somebody that just wants to mooch when you can have somebody that wants to move forward? And again, you can have citizenship if you've paid it back fully. That's a different twist. First one of those I've heard. Let's see here. As we dig in this, Brown University, there were 2 people killed in that shooting there. And as this comes out, we're learning now that it was Ella Cook was the target. She was one of the 2 that were killed. She was a Christian conservative, and they say that's who that guy was after. Again, that's just starting to come out as we look at all this. And also, we have to make and say kudos. Yesterday, we told you that People magazine was the only person calling out Rob Reiner's son as the person who took his life. They are correct. He was arrested. While other news media was saying, no, that's probably not true, People magazine stood by it. So they had an inside connection on that. So I wanted to make sure everybody heard that. By now, and I read over it, I think the best way to say this is if you can't say something nice, sometimes just don't say anything. Well, we all know the president can't do that. If he thinks it, he's going to say it. And his remarks about Rob Reiner, and it's in the news everywhere, I really, truly think he should have just stayed away from it. And if you don't like the man, don't say anything. Meathead is who we're talking about. And in him recognizing about him, he said that he had the Trump syndrome. And he went on to say that he wasn't a good person. Probably best to have just been quiet on the subject. Again, but that's who he is. He can't stay quiet when he thinks it. We all know that. The pennies. And I sat there and watched it. Did y'all see that when they went in with the die and they done the last few pennies? Well, they took the set of the last run, and they've been sold. And all total, there was 200 and something sets of the last 200 that went through. And the very last one, of course, is going to be the one that is the most valuable. As they went up for auction, those pennies brought $16.7 million. One of the final ones there was done in solid gold. And they also, the very last one, sold the dies with it that made the pennies. Interesting. 200 and something years it's gone. Now again, it was a cost-saving measure. It was costing, what, 5 cents to make a 1 cent? Yeah. Something to that effect. Wow, $16 million.
And there's plenty of pennies out there.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
You're not running out of pennies anytime soon.
Because they're in jugs and in houses everywhere. One day it will be a thing of the past. Syria has announced that they've arrested 5 people that are tied to the shooting of the 2 U.S. soldiers and the interpreter. Syria. They've announced them. Oh, no, they're going to give them up. Trump is coming. There will be retaliation. And they have announced the 2 soldiers, Sergeant William Nathan Howard and Sergeant Edward Taurus Tovar. Bless their hearts, they were from the Iowa National Guard. Lost their country for our life. And I don't, you'll have to forgive me, I don't know the interpreter's name that was there to help. Again, doing what they do, defending our country and taken by surprise and killed. Awful, awful. It's a shame I don't have Tyson here with me to ask this, but drug people consistently work to come up with something that people want more and more to sell to them. This comes from veterinary clinics, if I'm understanding this right. They take it and they will mix it with fentanyl, which is a very bad drug. And if I'm going to try to pronounce this word, and it's going to be tough on me, we're going to call it I can't do it. Let me spell it. Yeah, I ain't never seen a word like this. Medettomidine. It's a sedative for puppy dogs and things like that in veterinary clinics. And they mix that with fentanyl. It's the latest craze. It will hurt you. Stay away from it. Something's not right in your life if you have to use something to get high on life.
Hey, kids.
I tell you what, that's the way it is. And I don't know if you've watched this. There are plenty videos of it. As we go to where all this happened with the Bondi Beach, where the lives were taken. Have you seen the video where the police hid? Oh, it's no fool they hid behind cars. Have you seen that, Odie?
No.
And then you
done around here.
And I've read over and over and over, no matter how many times they try to tell you that the guy was something else, the guy that stopped it was a Christian. And I can't pronounce his name. It's Yay Long. But they say he is a Christian. I've read that in several places there. There are tons and tons of videos, and boy, there was 2 or 3 ladies involved in that. And they've shown that a lot is all I'm saying. But the police did bend and hide. They didn't rush. It was sort of like what happened here in the U.S. at the school in Texas. Uvalde, is that how you said the name of that little school?
Something.
Uvalde, I'm close to it. Y'all know what I mean. But similar to that, where they stayed still for 20 minutes before taking action. Boy, that would upset a lot of folks there, where they're saying they can go back now to write tickets for this, that, and the other of what they do there, and didn't do what they should have of going to help those in need at the time. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening there. We'll be right back with your forecast in just a moment as we begin this bundle up 24 right now. We'll be back with your forecast in just a moment.
Fix our problem.
Hey, Ben, did you approve this?
What? Tax credit match, double your savings. Who did this? Where did this come from?
Ben, I really love the new promo.
Come with me. Hey. Who do you think you are? Oh, Annie, it's you. Where did this all go out to?
Our whole service area.
As the seasons change, so do your clothes. And Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve. Also Hulk shirts. And America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church. And nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Welcome back as we get into our forecast this morning. And again, it's chilly as we'll wait for a high of 56. Let's get into what our forecast says.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Record highs were back in 1971. Woof, that was a while ago now, isn't it? 81 was high. 1901, 11 degrees today. As we look at the highs here, as I mentioned, today Meridian will see about 56 as we go north. We'll see 55 Philadelphia. The further north we go, it will only drop to about 50 there at the state line around Tunica. Down the river we go to 56 at Vicksburg. And by the time we get to Natchez and on down to the Gulfport area, about 58 for high. For tonight, here's what we got. Chance of showers over on that west side of the state near Greenwood down to Vicksburg. The Meridian area should see about 36 for a low. We'll stay that way all the way north on the eastern side of the state. 40 at Tunica, and down on the Gulf Coast we'll see 48 tonight. You Loosedale people, pretty good. 43 there as we move through there. Not much of a change. As we look at Bama today, 53 in Demopolis. We'll see 52 there in Birmingham. And as we get to Montgomery, Hanksland, about 55 for a high there. And Auburn comes in with War Eagle at 54 today. Now, here's what we have. Here's where we are starting to warm up. But look back here coming into West Texas. It's warm, and warmer, which will bring that 70-degree weather probably by Christmas Day. Let's go ahead and get into our forecast as we stretch it for 7 days. 56 today. Tomorrow, we'll see 62, just a smidgen of a chance of rain. But by Thursday, we're going to get wet. It's going to be a 60% chance of showers on Thursday. Low down to 37, so everything's safe. By Friday, it's 55. Then those temperatures start to warm back up. And by Sunday, 72, so a beautiful day Saturday and Sunday. 66 for the high on Saturday, but Sunday is the breadwinner there at 72. And by Monday, wow, we're at 71. Let's look at this on Christmas Eve, 71, partly cloudy. And on Christmas Day, well, go ahead and pick out your favorite short sleeve shirt. 71 with a low of 51. Santa's going to have to invent some snow. As we head toward the new year, we're still at 65 on the 30th. Nighttime lows in the mid to upper 40s is what we'll see there. Kind of the outlook on that. Let's look at our fishing forecast today. Not bad at all. Your major times to fish will be this morning beginning at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Now an afternoon chance from 1 till 3. As we move over, thanks to Parker Wholesale on that fishing forecast. As we get into our wind today, it's going to be calm south around 5 miles an hour. That's not bad at all. It's a good day on the chart to deer hunt. Not bad at all there as we get into major times, 8:07 to 10:07, and then again this afternoon from 1:45 until 2:45. So we'll call it, say, 2 to 3. Good hunting times. Sunrise happens at 6:49 this morning. Sunset will roll in at 4:51. Let's go back and look at radar of what we got shaping this morning on live radar as we pull up Doc's Toyota radar. Nothing here in the great state of Mississippi. You got to go to Dothan, Alabama before you get into a freeze warning in effect there. Woof. As we'll see, that's that lower portion of Georgia there, all around the Columbus area. There's special weather statements, but nothing bad. As we back out to take a look here, we're good. Not much going on. We do have a little bit of snow up here near Toronto as you'll move into those areas there. Pittsburgh, not bad right now. Out in Denver, we got a little snow as you get into this area right around there in Montana. Packers, Montana, getting some snow, and also back into Washington, Seattle area this morning there, and some rain there in Northern California. Woo, a little snow there just west of Denver also. I don't see any snow coming toward Mississippi no time soon. Don't buy a sled just yet. They got any deals on those this week, Odie?
Not yet.
Sleds are us.
Yeah.
Not much call for them here. We'll be right back. Jeff telling us 22 in Decatur this morning. We'll be right back again. Our musical guest this morning is going to be Britt. He's all fired up, got a red shirt, Christmassy looking.
Ho, 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 honey.
I won't even comment on that. It's all up and coming at the top of the hour. Join us.